Hi, how are you guys? Welcome to our third episode of my journey series, whereby we bring you real stories, real experiences of real people in this real world. And I am your host, Bonfire, the King. And with us today, we have this amazing, vibrant young lady. She is the true definition of beauty with brains. Welcome to the amazing story of Kimberly Fiona.
Hello guys, my name is Kimberly Fiona. I'm a last born out of two children. I have an older brother. I have been raised by a single mom. I have lived my whole life. I was born and raised in Nairobi. Well, I've lived in so many places in Nairobi. I am not even sure where I should start. However, I've had a feel of both worlds. That is, I've lived in Islam's, I think, for most part of my life, but I've also had the pleasure of experiencing the other side of the other side of town, Kileleshwa, Lavington. So I've also lived there for like 7 years. I went to most of my primary school. I did it in Nairobi, but somewhere along the line I actually went back to Shago. Nilitandikwa, gosh. So first I started with Moi Avenue Primary School. I did class 1 to class 4. Then I transferred to Sega Girls, St. Anne Sega Girls, that is along Busia Road. This school, I don't think I've ever read anywhere in my entire life the way I read in that school, because we used to be beaten like prisoners. Gosh. In fact, they used to beat us on the buttocks, like bamboo stick. These people were not nice. Anyway, yeah, so after that, I came back to Nairobi because my mom didn't want me to study at Shags for high school. So I was transferred back to Nairobi. So I went to St. Anne's, Jogo Road, where I finished my high school, my primary school. Then joined. By the time I was joining high school, there was that law that if you are within a certain locality, you are supposed to go to the same high school within the same locality. Because my school was in Makadara, I was actually taken to Our Lady of Mercy South B. So that's where I did my high school. So in high school, I was in Form 1. In fact, I think we were the first Form 1s when I was in high school to actually get leadership positions. So I started in Form 1 because nilikuwa mtiaji, by the way. So Form 1 nikakuwa games captain, then Form 2 nikakuwa sanitation prefect, and then Form 3 nikakuwa school captain. Gosh, hata sijasema nilienda suspensions kadhaa nikiwa high school. However, I will not talk about the suspensions, but yeah, I did. In fact, now the first one I have to mention it. The first suspension I went on in high school, I was accused of being a member of the LGBTQ community. So they said I was a lesbian. Reason being, they said I gave a hug to this particular lady, and that hug seemed extraordinary. Until then, I had not known that you can actually measure the extent of a hug. But then, so I went for suspension, and I remember my mom telling me I should go to church and pray. Oh God, if only she knew. I'm very straight, by the way, just to make that clear. So and then after that, I finished my high school, and then should I say passed the flying colors? No. So I went to Kenyatta University. I joined KU in 2017. I was called to do gender and development studies. Yeah, it was my option 2 actually, because my option 1 was I wanted to do law. However, when I was applying for the courses I wanted to do in university, I realized that law was such a flooded field. So somehow along, when I was just about to submit that application, I actually swapped. So law was my number 2, and then gender and development studies became my number 1. So somehow I got it. So I actually did what I wanted to do. Yeah, most people think it's a women's course, but then not really. It's more diverse than that. But then I understand why, which I'll explain as we progress. And then I was also a class representative in KU for the last 4 years. I finished as I was a very good student. So there in KU I passed with flying colors. So I graduated last year with a degree in gender development studies and a minor in psychology. My leadership journey started way earlier than KU. So I don't think I've ever lived a life of a normal student ever since I was in primary school. So from primary to high school, I've always been a leader. In fact, in Sega Girls, I was the first student who was in lower primary because I was in class 5. and I was elected to be a school captain. What we used to have back then was, we used to have a system where we used to have 3 school prefects. No, like, head girls were 3. So we take a head girl in class 8, class 7, and class 6. When I got to class 6, they didn't take that year, but they took me when I was in class 5. So yeah, and thereafter I came to St. Anne's Jogorod. I joined in May, and in June I was a school president again. And then I went to Our Lady of Mercy. I started as a games captain, then went to sanitation captain, then I became the school president, and I finished. Of course, I resigned along the way somewhere, but that's also another long story. But yeah, and then university I became again the class representative. Which, okay, there's nothing much with being a class representative other than just keeping tabs, the lecturers coming to class and communicating, just being the bridge between the students and the lecturers in university. But that's where my journey started as well. So right now I'm a senior facilitator at Taifa Teule Leadership Experience. That's an organization that equips young youths basically within the campus with knowledge on personal skills. Like, we give lessons on personal development, civic education, we do a bit of mentorship, and also community development, where we conduct projects where we try to solve issues in the society as well. I have my own CBO, where I do a lot of sexual reproductive health talks to high school students and upper primary, now the junior secondary as well. What else? I think that's basically it to me as of this point. Oh, I'm actually a good dancer. I can also sing. I do not make good use of those talents, though. They're just for fun, but only dance in the house. But I'm a good dancer. I'm an excellent singer if I wanted to, but I also don't do that. It's just for fun. What else? I'm a writer as well. I do editing of documents. What else? I think I'm more vocal, so anything that involves talking to people, I think I'd be good at it. Yeah, I think one of my best skills is people skills as of this point, and I've been told I'm good at it, so I believe, yeah, it's my best quality right now. Yeah.